All right, we are on air. It is Thursday, February 21st, and this is a meeting to check in on active development tests for Backdrop CMS. We have one issue in the PMCQ where we're currently looking at how many minor versions to support security releases on. We're waiting for a vote from, I think, 4 more PMC members on that one. But it does look like we're going to continue supporting 2 minor versions, which is what we have been doing until now. And then once we get more core committers, we will add another core committer who will specifically be responsible for the 3rd version back, or maybe 1 for each branch. So that hopefully we'll get an official vote this week, and then we will update all of our documentation to say as much next week. Contributed projects. In the last week, we've got 2 new modules out, autocomplete widgets and the ban IP module. So thank you everybody who's been working on those. Backdropcms.org, we talked about at length in the outreach meeting previously. So if you're interested in how some of these issues are moving on, I would encourage you to watch that meeting, or at least the beginning part of it. Modules, names, and layout pages is currently stuck, but we have a fix suggested. Homepage demo button is also stuck, but we have a fix recommended for that. I noticed there was a single commit to the code base for a change that I thought I would just try and revert and see if that made everything work again.
Yeah, no, it won't. The problem is we changed the authorized token, the authorization token, and the new token hasn't worked. So we probably need to make another one.
But the old token won't work anymore either?
Because I destroyed the old token because I had accidentally committed it to the repository.
Oh, okay. Well, we will try that again at some point. So I will not revert the commit.
Okay.
And then let's see, we have a note here just to update the security release policy once we get that finalized. I thought that also might make a great topic for a security related blog post, which is relevant this week. Translation site, just so you guys know, Olaf has been doing so much work on the translation site. He's even recruiting other people to maintain specific languages. So it looks like we have someone for Spanish, someone for French, someone for Catalan, someone for German. It's great. So that's coming along, and he's recommending changes to the localization site and server where it makes sense for Backdrop. So coming along, very exciting. Okay, that's it for my stuff. Nate, do you want to talk a little bit about the security release?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, the big thing this week was that we had a security release come out yesterday, 1.12.3, as well as 1.11.6, I believe. So yeah, the discussion around security policy is how far back we want to support, and for the time being, we're doing 2. So we've done that for this most recent release, and so that had one minor other fix in it, but then primarily the security fix, which there was some confusion around what situation your site would actually be vulnerable in, especially on the Drupal side with which we coordinated. It was slightly more complicated, like between Drupal 7 and Drupal 8, which versions were vulnerable and what combinations. But in Backdrop, the only situation where you would have problems would be if you were using services module or some other REST-based module that allowed you to create content and links. So if it was possible to create content through services that included a link, then a link field provided by link module, then you potentially had a problem. So the situation for Backdrop is kind of an unusual configuration, or less likely to occur. But nonetheless, we released with the same warning level as Drupal itself did. So anyway, that went pretty well yesterday, making those releases. No big problems there. I think we have an issue. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's jump right into 1.12.4, which should be the next bug fix release. One item that is in this list is support for multiple equivalent security releases, where 1.11.6 and 1.12.3 both contain the security fix. But if you're still on 1.11, even if you update to 1.11.6, it's going to update module is going to say your site is insecure because there's 1.12 available. And so we have this issue 35.24 to make it so that update module will get smarter and be able to tell if your site is fully secure, even if you're running a previous minor version that is still receiving security fixes. So that issue 35.24, we've got a general game plan in place, but the implementation is not yet begun.
Yeah, that might be a smaller issue as well with versions which contain dashes, dash beta something, because I was looking at the b.org side and I see that the project 1.0.0 is installed, and it recommends the beta 7 as a recommended version.
Mm. Yeah,
I'll file a ticket for that separately.
Yeah, update module in general has got some problems in that it trusts the order in which the feed is given. It trusts the order of the releases based on the order that is in the feed. It doesn't do any sorting on its own. So I think that might be our primary problem here.
I mean, you mean date created?
Yeah, it sorts on date created. I'm not sure if that actually applies to this beta situation, though. That seems unusual that somebody would create a beta release after 1.0.0. So maybe it is another situation.
Yeah, we already have an older ticket about supporting DAS dev versions, but that's entirely different because dev versions there might be multiple dev versions in theory, which don't have a what you call it, a identifier. But yeah, I'll create a separate ticket for that.
Let's see. Other items that we've got for 1.12.4 that are of note, we've got a couple more RTL issues. We've been going through lots and lots of RTL fixes recently, which has been wonderful. The one that is of particular note is the configuration of a rich text editor for CK Editor is pretty broken. So the drag and drop interface replacing buttons.
Yeah, I was telling Jen that I found like lots and lots more because I've switched like a couple of my test environments to permanently RTL. So the mobile primary tabs are broken. There's various other issues. I've done some more research, and caniuse.com says that the BDO object is supported as far as back as IE6. So this solves most of the problems, especially where punctuation is in place. For example, machine names. See how we have the machine name prefix, then the machine name, and then the edit link. These get all scrambled. If you wrap those things in BDO tags, they just automatically get fixed. And it's just a single line fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that so BDO is supported, but BDI is not. And they have different behaviors. I think BDO, the reason why it wasn't widely used is because it actually makes things not work quite correctly. Like it would actually make things read backwards in situations, I believe.
Yeah, it does that with the English language. So if you keep the English language while you switch to RTL, then the text that you see will read backwards. But that, if you actually use, but this is for troubleshooting purposes, if you actually use a language that is RTL, it doesn't have that problem.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, let's look at it as an option. We might need, yeah, my ability to read any RTL language. I'll have to defer to others that actually can read Hebrew or Arabic to know for sure.
We have one member that contributes in the queue that seems to have more experience in using those languages. So at least we have one tester to confirm if the fix actually fixes things or breaks things.
Okay, yeah, that'll be wonderful. Yeah. Let's see, that CK editor one is 3504. but it sounds like there's been more ones being created. So search for RTL in GitHub to find the other issues that are related to that. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. We have a situation that occurred in the 1.12 release that options element was moved into core. And if you're using the contrib options module while options element module before you upgrade, you can end up in a little bit of a pickle. There's a workaround that has been posted in issue 3485. And we're trying to see if there's a way to prevent all upgrading problems from 1.11 to 1.12. Let's see, there's a problem with layouts. If you clone a layout, it breaks the newly created one and the previous one. It's 2673. We need tests on this issue. There's a patch that fixes the problem. Similarly, 3462 as a PDO database exception occurs when a file is removed out from under backdrop. And this one also has a patch but needs tests. I did post a comment on there last week about how to write the test. So I don't think that there's much of a technical challenge on that one, getting the tests put together. And lastly, a display problem with contextual links for views, issue 2690, that sometimes the contextual links can be hard to access for views that are page displays. That currently needs work. I think that discussion is still ongoing about how to even solve that problem, like what is the correct solution. That's it for 1.12 for the next bug fix release items that are prioritized. There's also a bunch more of them in the 1.12.4 milestone. I think that we've got, taking a quick look, looks like about 30 issues that are tagged for 1.12.4. For 1.13 will be the next minor release that will come out May 15th. May 15th, 2019. And items that we've got slated here as priorities include telemetry, issue 285. Telemetry would start collecting more information about sites, such as like what version of PHP and MySQL they were running. For starters, would be a good initiative. What modules they've got turned on and off also. We would like to start collecting that information separately from updates. And so 285 is the issue to create a new telemetry module. The status here says needs love. I think, yeah, basically we've decided on general approach, but there isn't even the start of a module or anything yet there. So yeah, champion or somebody to start a brand new module in 285, like here's your chance. Dashboard is issue 495. Dashboard currently needs review/work. Jen, do you want to say anything about dashboard since you've got more information on that? Okay. I think basically there hasn't been a lot of activity on that in the last week. Adding translatable strings to core config files is issue 3455. Continuing to build out functionality that we added in 1.12. This is a start to make it so that translatable strings can be pulled out of config files so that when you download translations from the localization server, it will include those strings. That's issue 3455 and currently has one pull request that gets started on things like site name and slogan that currently needs review. So Herb Duel filed that ticket quite some time ago, over a month ago, and could use some review there. And last item on 1.13, package signing, making it so that when zip files are downloaded from backdropcms.org, or actually technically GitHub, that we would be able to validate that the packages were untampered in transit. That's issue 1992. Currently has a different proof of concept implementations in there. needs some work. That's it for the items that got pulled out for 113. There's also another list of issues that are tagged with the 113 milestone. Looks like there are about 30 of those as well. That's it for the product update. Do we have any things that we'd like to bring up or discuss around what's going in 113, 112, or anything else related to Backdrop? Okay. Well, we started late, but we blitzed right through it today. So thank you, everybody out there, for joining in these meetings again, as we have every week. And thanks for watching out there. And we'll see you guys on the internet. Keep on doing the Backdrop. Bye, folks.